Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Tuesday, December the 3rd. The year is 2019. Let's talk trading. Waiting. If you've been following my videos or maybe read my All You Need to Know About Trading, you know that waiting is about 98, 99% of trading. You're waiting. It's kind of like hunting. You're out there, what you do is you're maneuvering yourself into a position hoping to get a shot. You just wait. You just wait for that animal to appear. Or if you're fishing, you bait your hook, you put it in the water, and you just wait for a fish to hit the bait. Wait. Well, trading's kind of the same way, except you're really not baiting the hook, and you're really not taking a shot per se. But what you're doing is usually waiting. Waiting for what you believe is an opportunity to make money. Now, sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And you see, and when things aren't going your way, that's when the risk and money management come into play. That's just the way it works. In fact, I was reading something yesterday and they were saying, after you have success, that builds your confidence, which then you have another success and it builds your confidence. It keeps going and going. But sometimes in trading, what'll happen is you'll have maybe 1, 2, 3 successes in a row. In other words, you exit the trade with a profit. And then something happens and you exit the trade with the loss. Now, this is the hard part. Leave things alone. But most traders, nope, they got to throw another indicator on the chart, maybe try a new system. Whereas if all they did, they just had the patience, they just learned how to wait, and for the next opportunity and the one after that, and they just keep at it, then they would be successful. But, that waiting part, that's just so tough for so many people, not just in trading, but same is true in life. And of course, as I've said many, many times, like every day, don't lose any more in any one particular trade than you're willing to lose. If you say you're only willing to lose $10 per trade, don't lose 11. Don't lose $10 and a cent. Okay, stick to it. Between waiting and sticking to something, those might be the two toughest things when it comes to trading. Sticking to your plan, just sticking to it. No alterations, no modifications, just sticking to it day after day after day, and then waiting to actually use that plan when the right opportunity comes up. Now, here we go again, plain chart, just 3 lines here. And as you can see, price went through yesterday's low like a hot knife through butter. Right? Oh, and while I've got this chart up, there was a trader wanted to know something about TROHL5, and what they wanted to do was they wanted to plot a fixed price. No, they wanted to plot a timeline, and I can't remember what day or what hour, but you see, if you turn this to true, then you can put the hour and the minute, and then it'll plot those lines right here. So this says daily high and this says daily low. But what you really have to do here is you probably want to put it on the current chart. So you come down here, and instead of my period 1 day, you go current. there you have it right here. That's the 1400 candle high and low. So you probably want to have a different instance of that indicator to get that. So just remember to set your period. Most likely you want it current, but we were doing 1 day for this particular chart. And we're not going to show timelines. And put things back to where they were. So this is pretty simple, nothing esoteric here, but there's so many ways to just, put so much gobbledygook on the chart. And let's go to the weekly chart. We still have some gaps that haven't filled. And you can see right here on the weekly, we entered the lower wick zone and pierced through it, but we've come back up. And we're just 1 pip below the previous week's low right here. So now this week will be an outside bar. And that yearly open, look at that. 107 pips low. The year, the month, the week, and the day, all red. And this is kind of interesting here. We've got the first day of the week, high and low, inside, almost totally inside the first trading day of the year, high low. That's almost it's like almost an inside bar type of situation here. And as you can see, we broke out of the first trading day of the week's low and the first trading day of the year's low, which this is also first trading day of the month, since the week and the month started the same. I'm looking here, first trading day of the month open. You can see we went back down through a couple of opens there. And the range, we came right through some ranges, bottoming here on, you see a bunch of highs here from the first trading day of the month. Inside bar. Now you can see right here, we had a monthly inside bar 3 months ago. And there's the low, there's the high. We bounced off of that high. And right now, we're in the inside the weekly inside bar of 2 weeks ago. And once again, there's lots of inside bar opportunities on this chart. Range, we've only got 4 over 100. Oh, and speaking of range, I ran the frequency distribution on the dollar yen for the rat zone, and it appears as though the rat zone's almost a coin flip now on the yen, but on the pound dollar, it's still in that 70-80% range. So this is how you run the statistics and you see which is the best pairs to trade a certain method. So rat zones, not so much on dollar yen anymore, but we've been seeing that, but definitely on still holds true on the pound dollar. And on the fact on the pound New Zealand, the new beast, as I like to call it, it's that frequency distribution's off the hook. So you just run the high minus close and close minus low on those frequency distributions. Okay, we hit the pivot. No, that's the future pivot. We hit the pivot up here. At least I think we hit the pivot. Let's see. What's according? Okay. Wait a minute. It looks like we took out the pivot buy zone right here. We have to hit the short, and you can see what happened next. Okay, on the rat zone, you see I upgraded the rat zone indicator, so it says range large enough, or if you get something where the range isn't large enough. Okay, that range is large enough. And how I compute it, it has to be greater than 2 times the rat zone. So if your rat zone's 20, range has to be bigger than 40. Let me think. Who had a small range today? I think maybe it was a Euro GBP. Nope. Let me go back and look. Range. US CAD. So there, range too low. Let's switch this back over to M15. And it takes a little while for it to load up. Since I haven't been trading dollar CAD, the history hasn't been loaded. And there you can see that overlap of the rat zone. So caution, range too low. But let's go back and maybe let's just set this to the pound dollar for the rat zone. Maybe that's what I'll do is I'll pick what I think's a good pair for each method, even though I like to stick with one pair. But you can see here, nice range, nice movement out of the zone here. And so red rats get ready to feast. And the pound's above the $1.30, just to let you know. Waiting for a tick here to refresh the chart. There we go. And you can see here, pivot. Actually, technically, it didn't take out the pivot. It missed it by 0.002, so we've got an open pivot. Price action. I know there was a trader wanted me to talk about this. When these semaphores, or the balls as I like to call it, when they first appear, that is indicating a breakout. You see, most people thought this indicator was a reversal indicator, and so when they see it, and then they see it, and then they, oh, you see the ball, it's going to reverse because, you know, later in the day, after everything's said and done, it looks like if you go long on a 3-ball, it's going to reverse a 3-ball at the bottom. But that's not the case. You see, what happens is when that 3-ball first appears, it's telling you, hey, price is breaking out. So you basically have to let this candle close, look at the next candle, see if it tests it or not, and then you can trade the opposite way. So like, see here, 3 long bias from 1 bar ago. Now, maybe if we switch a pair, let's bring up the pound dollar. And so here, 3 short bias from 1 bar ago. So there's your 3-ball. So you see, when it was pushing up here, this was probably a 3 the first time. And there was a little reversal, but then you see it pushed up. So now this former 3 became a 1. Okay, so this is why they say, oh, well, it repaints. No, what it's doing is it's updating in real time. So just remember that it is a breakout indicator, and there you see the wick zone, and I am running out of time here. So fellow traders, just remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks.